All right, so we're diving into LLMs,
LLMs.
large language models,
That's right.
the AI behind things like ChatGPT and Google's Gemini, even Meta's Llama.
Yeah.
It's fascinating stuff, and these LLMs are really changing how we do everything, right? Coding, creating content, research, pretty much everything.
You name it.
You name it, but here's the real question.
Okay.
Are you getting the most out of these powerful tools?
Right.
And that's where mastering the art of prompt engineering comes in.
Yeah, it really is like having this incredibly powerful engine,
Right?
but not knowing how to drive it.
Exactly.
And prompting is really all about speaking the language of AI. You can get what you need.
You know, I was working on a project a while back, and I had this light bulb moment
Oh, yeah.
where I realized that just a small tweak, a really small change to how I worded my question to the AI completely transformed the results.
Wow.
It went from totally generic to giving me exactly what I needed.
Yeah. It's amazing how powerful that can be.
Yeah.
Just a simple change in how you phrase something can make all the difference.
Huge difference.
Like, think about it. You could ask an AI for the capital of France.
Right.
And you'll get Paris.
Simple.
But if you change it up a bit and ask for, like, a brief history of Paris as the capital, suddenly you're getting a much deeper, more insightful response.
It's the same AI.
Same AI.
It's guiding it differently.
That's right.
Okay, so that makes sense for, like, basic questions, right? But what about when you need the AI to really think through something complex?
Well, that's where we start getting into all the different prompting techniques.
Okay.
You got things like, zero-shot prompting, where you're essentially giving the AI a task without any examples.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like saying, go figure this out and see what it comes up with.
And then there's few-shot prompting, where you give a couple examples to steer it in the right direction.
Exactly.
Kind of like, here's how I want you to approach this, this type of task.
But then it gets even more interesting with techniques like chain of thought prompting.
Chain of thought prompting.
Yeah. This is where you encourage the AI to think out loud step by step.
Oh, so instead of just asking it to solve a math problem, you'd ask it to, like, explain each step.
Precisely.
Okay.
So let's say you're trying to solve a complex equation.
Right.
Instead of just plugging it in, you could ask the AI to say, like, first, I need to isolate this variable, then I'll perform this operation.
Right.
And by forcing it to articulate that reasoning, you often get more accurate and understandable results.
It's like you're peeking into the AI's brain.
It really is.
That's cool. Are there any other ways to guide the AI?
Oh, absolutely.
To give more helpful responses?
Yeah, instructional prompting is all about providing crystal clear instructions to get those really structured, usable results.
Okay.
So think of it like this. Instead of asking, tell me about renewable energy, you'd say, list the top 5 benefits of renewable energy and provide a 2-sentence explanation for each.
Wow.
So you're shaping the output to be immediately useful.
Right. You're not just getting a jumble of information, it's organized.
Exactly.
I like that. So what about those times when you need the AI to have a specific expertise?
That's where role-playing comes in.
Oh.
You can actually tell the AI to act as a cybersecurity expert, a marketing guru, a historian, anything.
So instead of saying,
it's really incredible.
Write me a blog post,
right?
I could say, you are a marketing expert. Write a blog post about the benefits of using AI for small businesses.
That's exactly right.
Right.
By setting that stage, you're prompting the AI to leverage that specific knowledge base and style.
So it's more focused.
More focused, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a bunch of these prompting techniques.
We have.
But what about having, like, a longer conversation with the AI, like a back and forth?
Yeah, that's the beauty of multi-turn conversational prompting. The AI can actually remember what you've talked about before.
Really?
Leading to a more natural, dynamic interaction.
So it's not just...
It can build on previous responses.
Okay, so it's not just like a series of disconnected questions and answers.
No, it's like a real dialogue.
It's like a dialogue.
Exactly.
Okay, so for example, I could say, let's create a project plan together, and then ask, what are the key milestones we should consider?
Right, and it'll give you those milestones.
Okay.
But it will also remember the context of your conversation and build on it as you go.
That's amazing. It's like having an AI partner that's actually helping you think things through.
It really is.
That's so cool. But with all of these techniques, are there any, like, general best practices to keep in mind?
Oh, there are definitely some key principles that can help you craft more effective prompts.
Okay.
First and foremost, be clear and specific.
Okay.
The more detail you provide, the better the AI can understand what you're looking for.
AI thrives on detail.
It does. It does.
But I feel like a lot of people probably make the mistake of being too vague.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, we often assume that the AI understands what we mean.
Right, right.
But remember, it's not a mind reader.
Okay.
Clarity is key.
Clarity is key.
And another really valuable tip is to use constraints.
Oh.
For example, you could set a word limit for a response or request bullet points instead of this huge chunk of text.
Yeah.
This makes the output much more digestible and useful.
It's like you're formatting the AI's brain.
Kind of, yeah.
I like it. So this might be a question for part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay.
But I'm curious, how do you know if you've actually created a good prompt?
That is a fantastic question.
Is it trial and error?
And that leads us right into the iterative nature of prompt engineering.
Oh, okay.
Even the most experienced prompt engineers rarely nail it on the first try.
Really?
It's all about experimenting, refining,
Okay.
tweaking your prompts until you get what you need.
So it's not about finding that one perfect prompt.
No.
It's about constantly experimenting and improving.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really helpful.
Good.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
And it's a lot more to think about than just asking the AI a simple question.
It really is. The more we understand about prompting, the more we unlock the potential of these tools.
Okay, so much for just asking a simple question.
That's right.
All right, you've given us a lot to think about.
Good. Good.
That's a perfect cliffhanger.
Yeah, that is.
I can't wait to unpack that in part 2.
I know, it'll be fun.
But for now,
Yeah.
thanks for all of this. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
It's fascinating stuff.
It is. It really is.
All right, so we'll pick this back up in part 2.
That's great.
But for now, thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, it's true. It really is a perfect segue into what we were going to talk about next.
Okay.
This idea of iterating on prompts.
Okay, so you're saying even experts don't always get it right on the first try.
Yeah, it's rare.
Really?
Think of it like sculpting. Like you start with a block of marble, and you gradually chip away at it until you reveal the masterpiece within.
Okay.
Prompt engineering can be similar.
Okay.
You might start with a general idea and then refine the wording, add more context, experiment with constraints. It's really an ongoing process.
So it's not about finding the one perfect prompt. It's about like continuously experimenting and improving.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the keys to that process is really understanding the AI's output.
Okay.
You know, if you're not getting what you expected, don't get discouraged.
No.
Analyze the results. Try to figure out why the AI responded the way it did,
Right.
and then use that feedback to tweak your prompts.
Oh.
Sometimes a simple rephrasing or adding a few more details can make a huge difference.
So we've covered a lot of ground with these prompting techniques.
We have.
But I'm curious, like, how are people actually using this in the real world?
Yeah, it's a good question.
It all sounds great in theory, but
Right.
are there, like, tangible examples of how this is actually making a difference?
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just some futuristic concept. This is happening now.
Okay.
People are using prompt engineering to do incredible things.
Like what?
Well, developers are using it to debug code with, like, incredible precision.
Okay.
Imagine you're stuck on a tricky bug.
Yeah.
Instead of spending hours scouring documentation, you can feed the AI a snippet of your code and ask it to identify the issue, suggest solutions, even write the corrected code for you.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's like having an AI pair programmer right there with you.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's not just limited to coding.
What else?
People are using prompts to craft really compelling marketing copy that converts,
Whoa.
generate creative content like stories and poems,
Okay.
even do legal research in a fraction of the time it used to take.
So it's really impacting all sorts of fields and professions.
Absolutely. And it's not just about making things faster or easier.
Right.
Prompt engineering is also helping people to be more creative, more innovative. It's like having a brainstorming partner that can help you generate new ideas and explore different perspectives.
So for writing especially, you could get out of a creative rut.
Definitely. Writers are using prompts to overcome writer's block, generate fresh ideas, and even experiment with different writing styles.
It's not just about writing.
No, people are using prompts to create stunning visual art, compose music, even design innovative products.
This is all incredibly exciting.
It is.
But I have to ask, is there a downside?
Right. Of course.
It can't all be perfect. Right.
It's important to be aware of the potential pitfalls and limitations of AI,
Right.
even with the best prompting techniques.
Okay, like what?
One thing to keep in mind is that AI models are trained on massive amounts of data,
Right.
and that data can reflect the biases and limitations of the real world.
So you're saying those biases could potentially show up in the AI's responses?
It's possible. It's crucial to be aware of this, to critically evaluate the AI's output, especially when dealing with sensitive topics or making decisions that impact people's lives.
That's a really important point.
It is.
I think it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of this technology and forget that it's still just a tool. And like any tool, it can be used responsibly or irresponsibly.
Exactly. And just as we need to be mindful of those ethical implications, we also need to remember that AI is still evolving.
Okay.
It's not perfect.
Right.
And it can make mistakes.
Okay.
Sometimes it might generate responses that are factually incorrect or logically flawed.
So it's not a replacement for human judgment or critical thinking.
Absolutely not. It's essential to approach AI with a healthy dose of skepticism and to always verify information, especially when it comes from a machine.
All right. Well, that's a good reality check.
Yeah.
But even with those cautions in mind, it's hard not to be amazed by the potential of this technology. So where do we go from here?
Right.
What's next for prompt engineering and the world of LLMs?
Well, it's a rapidly evolving field, and there are some incredibly exciting developments on the horizon.
Like what?
Well, one area that's really capturing people's imaginations is the idea of AI agents that can actually write their own prompts.
Wait, AI writing prompts for itself?
It sounds crazy, right?
That's mind-blowing. How does that even work?
It's still in the early stages.
Okay.
But these advanced AI systems are being designed to understand goals and objectives and then automatically generate the prompts needed to achieve them.
So like having an AI assistant that can anticipate your needs
Exactly.
and then guide the interaction.
Yeah, with other AI models.
Wow, but that raises a lot of questions.
It does.
How do we ensure that these AI agents are aligned with our goals and our values?
Right, and what about the potential for unintended consequences?
Yeah.
Those are absolutely valid concerns. As with any powerful technology, there are ethical considerations and potential risks that we need to address carefully.
That makes sense.
The key is to develop these systems responsibly, with transparency and accountability at the forefront.
Okay. That's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is.
So AI writing its own prompts, that's one major development. What else is on the horizon?
Another trend that's gaining traction is the creation of standardized prompt libraries.
Prompt libraries.
Yeah. These are essentially collections of pre-written prompts that have been proven to be effective for specific tasks or industries.
So it's like a repository of best practices.
Exactly. And the beauty of this is that it makes prompt engineering more accessible.
For everyone.
For everyone, you don't need to be an expert to start leveraging the power of AI.
Right.
You can browse a library, find a prompt that suits your needs, and adapt it to your specific situation.
Okay, that's cool.
So it takes a lot of the guesswork out of prompting.
Right.
And opens it up to a much wider audience.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is. And as these libraries grow and evolve, we can expect to see even more innovation and creativity in the ways that people are using LLMs.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a major shift.
We are.
In how we interact with technology. From writing and coding to problem solving and decision making.
Yeah.
AI is becoming more and more integrated into our lives.
It's an exciting time to be exploring these possibilities.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed, it's crucial to approach it with both enthusiasm and a healthy dose of caution.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I'm excited to hear what you think the future holds
Okay.
for prompt engineering and for all of us who are navigating this new world of AI.
I'm happy to share. And that's a perfect transition to the final part of our conversation.
So it really feels like we're at this turning point. We've
Yeah.
got these powerful AI tools that are becoming more and more accessible.
Right.
And prompt engineering is the key to unlocking their true potential. But I'm still kind of grappling with what that means for us, for how we work, create, even think,
Yeah, it's a profound shift, no doubt.
Yeah.
We're moving from a world where we primarily interacted with technology through graphical interfaces, buttons, and menus, to a world where we can just use natural language to communicate what we want.
It's like we're speaking the same language.
Exactly.
Even if it's still evolving.
It is. It's still early.
So what does that mean for the future?
What?
You mentioned AI writing its own prompts, standardized libraries. What's the big picture here?
One of the most exciting possibilities is the rise of AI as a true collaborative partner,
Okay.
like a co-pilot in almost every aspect of our lives.
So it's not just about, like, automating tasks.
Right.
It's about, like, augmenting our own capabilities.
Exactly. Think about a doctor diagnosing a patient.
Okay.
Instead of relying solely on their own knowledge and experience, they could have an AI that analyzes medical records, research databases, and presents the most relevant information all in real time.
Wow.
This frees up the doctor to focus on the human aspects of care, like empathy, communication.
Right, the stuff that requires, like, a human touch.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So does that mean we all need to become, like, prompt engineers?
That's a great question.
Is this a specialized skill?
I think the answer is both yes and no.
Okay.
As AI becomes more integrated into our lives,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the fundamentals of prompting will be essential.
Okay.
It's like learning basic computer literacy,
Yeah.
It's a foundational skill that empowers you to navigate this new landscape.
So we all need a basic understanding.
I think so.
But maybe not everyone needs to be, like, an expert.
Right. Just like with any field, there will be specialists who dedicate themselves to mastering the nuances of prompt engineering and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Right.
But for most people, it'll be about understanding those core principles,
Okay.
knowing how to craft effective prompts for their specific needs, and recognizing the potential and limitations.
It still feels like we're on the edge of something massive,
I agree.
a real paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, if everyone becomes fluent in this language of AI, what could we achieve?
That's the question that keeps me up at night.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Okay.
We could potentially solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
Like what?
Climate change, disease, poverty.
Wow.
We could unlock levels of creativity and innovation that we can't even imagine right now.
It's both exciting and a little daunting.
It is.
But I think if we approach AI with a sense of responsibility,
Yes.
curiosity, a willingness to learn and adapt, we can harness its power for good
I agree.
and create a future that benefits all of us.
Absolutely.
So for you listening, here's the takeaway.
Okay.
Prompt engineering, it's not just some, like, technical skill. It's a doorway to a whole new way of thinking and interacting with the world.
I love that.
It's about understanding the potential of AI and learning how to speak its language.
That's it.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to discover the next groundbreaking prompt that changes everything.
That's the beauty of it all.
It's full of surprises.
Keep experimenting, stay curious, and don't be afraid to push the boundaries.
You never know what you might unlock.
Exactly.
Well, on that note of boundless possibility,
Yes.
we'll wrap up our deep dive into the world of prompt engineering.
I've enjoyed it.
We hope you enjoy the journey and are feeling inspired to explore this incredible frontier of AI.
It is incredible.
Until next time, keep those prompts sharp and those minds open to the wonders of what's to come.
That's right. Thanks, everyone.